Hi, this is G from Native Speakers Academy, and welcome to another edition of 10-Minute English. This is where we introduce short articles from the news for upper, intermediate, and advanced level students. That's B2 and C1 in the Common European Framework. On the screen in front of you, you should be able to see the article that we are going to work through today. The longer babies are breastfed, the more they achieve in life. It should be interesting. As usual, before we dive into the article, I would like to remind you that you can have a look more closely at the work we do on our homepage, which is nsa-slovakia.com. That's Native Speakers Academy, the Center for Educational Theory and Research. And you will find hundreds of articles on our homepage related to education, psychology, philosophy, and other topics of social interest. Our latest post is a little bit of self-promotion of these online language sessions. If you like, you can repost it on your Google Plus account or your Facebook account and share this information with the world around about you. This not only promotes our 10-minute English sessions, but also our special presentations. Here are the last two that we did: Why Should I Homeschool? And How to Raise a Child Peacefully. And right at the bottom here, we have a list of sites where you can get other English lessons for free on the internet. So there's something to keep you really busy. We've also got a YouTube account. That's the Native Speakers Academy official homepage. Over 200 videos there on education and education related topics. Today I'd like to highlight the John Taylor Gatto series. These are wonderful speeches related to the philosophy of education and with a lot of information about the history of education as well. You can also find us on Pinterest, 13 boards of useful information for students, teachers, home educators, and unschoolers as well. There we go. Or you can browse the pins individually. Here are some that we have posted in the last 24 hours. Grammatical information about conditionals and present perfect, information about peer pressure. There's a lot of stuff. So there you go. So why are we here? We're here to work through an article together. Here's the article. Major study: the longer babies are breastfed, the more they achieve in life. As usual, I have highlighted the important and key vocabulary in yellow. You can pause the video and check it before we look through the article, or you can guess from the context and check your understanding after. It's up to you. If you are checking vocabulary, I recommend Google Define. What that means is typing into Google the word define followed by the word that you are interested in. I should be able to pull it up here. There we go. Here's a word that appears at the end of our article today. It is cohort. Cohort, an ancient Roman military unit comprising of 6 centuries, equal to 1/10 of a legion. Interesting. Also, a group of people banded together or treated as a group. Very often these are colleagues at work or friends that you spend your free time with or hang out with. If we take a look at the online etymology dictionary, it describes cohort as a company of soldiers or an infantry company. Infantry, soldiers, infant, child. Interesting language connections. It seems to me that a lot of our educational vocabulary comes from military vocabulary. Also, a lot of our business vocabulary comes from military language and terminology as well. Think about a marketing campaign, for example. The article that we are going to look at today comes from the Guardian newspaper. The original title: The Longer Babies Breastfeed, the More They Achieve in Life, a major study from Brazil. Oh, look at that lovely picture. Shall we leave it there? What do you think? Yes, let's leave it there for now. So, if you are sitting comfortably and, like me, you have just had half a cup of coffee, there's a little more, and a nice chocolate wafer biscuit, then you will be ready to begin. So, let's do this. The longer babies are breastfed, the more they achieve in life. Brazilian study of 6,000 babies from all backgrounds since 1982 finds those who breastfed were more intelligent, spent longer in education, and earned more. Breastfed babies are more likely to turn into well-educated, higher-earning adults according to a major long-term study. Good for all those who have been following the traditional methods. Researchers in Brazil have followed nearly 6,000 babies from birth for the past 3 decades, enabling them for the first time to get an idea of the long-term effects of breastfeeding. Nearly 3,500 of them, now 30-year-old adults, accepted an invitation to be interviewed and sit IQ tests for the purpose of the study. Those who had been breastfed proved to be more intelligent, had spent longer in school, and earned more than those who had not been. And the longer they were breastfed as a baby, the better they tended to be doing. It's nice when science suddenly realizes that nature, in its natural form, has great things to offer, isn't it? Let's continue. It is already known that breastfeeding can increase a child's IQ by a small amount. Good to know. The question that Dr. Bernardo Lessa Horta from the Federal University of Pelotas in Brazil wanted to answer was whether this translated into greater intelligence and better prospects as an adult. Now, if it means that breastfeeding can increase a child's IQ by a small amount, does that not also mean that not breastfeeding would reduce IQ by a small amount? Interesting. Our study provides the first evidence that prolonged breastfeeding not only increases intelligence until at least the age of 30 years, but also has an impact both at an individual and societal level by improving educational attainment and earning ability. So it's good for everybody. Tell that to all of the companies who promoted powdered milk as the way forward about 30 years ago, causing horrors in the lives of many families. It is not just the age of the participants that makes this study unusual. Horta says that it is free of the major complication of most breastfeeding studies because when it began in Brazil in 1982, it was not just the more affluent and educated mothers who breastfed in Brazil. My emphasis in that sentence was completely wrong. Let's try that again. Horta says it is free of the major complication of most breastfeeding studies because when it began in 1982, it was not just the more affluent and educated mothers who breastfed in Brazil. That's better. Breastfeeding was not limited to one socio-economic group. It was, he says, evenly distributed across the social classes. So the higher achievers at the age of 30 did not come from better off homes. Interesting that those from less developed socioeconomic areas were more inclined to not breastfeed. Interesting. This kind of balances things out. Hey, imagine through generations how this would work, that the first generation would breastfeed their children. The children would have higher IQ points. They would then breastfeed the second generation, the children would have higher IQ points, and so it would grow and grow, theoretically. Nonetheless, in analysing their results, now published in the Lancet Global Health Journal, they took account of family income at birth, parental schooling, genomic ancestry, maternal smoking during pregnancy. What a horrible thing to do. Maternal age, birth weight, and type of delivery to try to avoid any of those factors skewing the results. Factors skewing results. Type of delivery could skew IQ and intelligence results. Interesting. They found that all the breastfed babies had greater intelligence, as measured by a standard IQ test, had spent more years in education, and had higher earnings. But the longer they had been breastfed, the greater the benefits. Children who had been breastfed for 12 months had an IQ that was 4 points higher than those breastfed for less than a month, had nearly a year's more schooling, and earned around £70 a month more, about a third more than the average income level. So, breastfed children are more economically affluent. Horta acknowledged he could not completely rule out the possibility mothers who breastfed helped their baby's development in other ways. Of course, those who care about their children are going to care about all aspects of their children. Some people say it is not the effect of breastfeeding, but it is the mothers who breastfeed who are different in their motivation or their ability to stimulate the kids, he told The Guardian. Of course they are, naturally. What good mother would not want to be involved in all areas of development of their children and to stimulate? But he said there is evidence from other studies of the nutritional value of mother's milk. Of course there is. God did not make a mistake. Or if you don't believe in God, evolution did not make a mistake. That's why there are those two bouncy things on a woman's chest. Right. They're not for looking at. They're for feeding. Right. Where's my cursor? But he said there is evidence from other studies of the nutritional value of mother's milk, rich in long-chain polyunsaturated fatty acids that are essential for brain growth. And don't forget your omega-3 fish oils as well. Some studies have suggested babies with a particular genotype are more likely to get the IQ benefit from breastfeeding than others. Perhaps. Horta and colleagues are now looking to see whether that applies in their cohort, amongst their colleagues, the people that they are working with. So, we're back to the start. First it was, no, don't breastfeed. You need to use these chemical formulas developed by science. They're much better. And now we've turned full circle, a complete revolution, back to the beginning, where, yes, the natural way is better. I wonder when we're going to get to that point with births as well. Anyway, the source is the Guardian, and a link will be added to this video online so that you can explore the original article where there is a little bit more information. My thoughts and notes, feel free to disagree. Who would fight against nature? as I mentioned before, as if there was some mistake in the way we have evolved. I think not. Who would not breastfeed if they could? I don't know. There's always a way. I think we'll look at some of the myths as well before we finish this article. Maternity leave in some countries is only 3 months. How can you expect the child to develop fully if they only have 3 months of breastfeeding? Thank you very much, government, for setting up that system of lower IQ. Specifically, I'm talking about Spain here. A synthetic is a poor alternative. Don't use the chemicals. They're not good. Cause babies to increase in size and weight as well. 18 months is quite a long time to breastfeed. And here's a thought. It might naturally reduce the population. If the longer you spend breastfeeding, the less you're going to be focused on having more children. So the longer you breastfeed, naturally the population will be reduced in size. Just a thought. And mothers in the past were just given pills. A friend of my mother's told me that when her son was born, she was given the opportunity of taking a pill to stop the milk forming in her breasts for her child, because it didn't matter to breastfeed at that time. And of course she took the pill because doctors know best. So mothers in the past were just given pills. There is no easy, lazy solution to this. There we go. So that was it. Babies, the longer babies are breastfed, the more they achieve in life. Good to know that the traditional way is the right way. Alongside our Guardian article here, there is also an article from the Telegraph, which is not appearing. There is also an article, a second article from the Telegraph, which is not appearing here. Let's take 1 second. So we have the article now. The article is more mothers should breastfeed for 18 months to save the National Health Service money. The government wants you to save money for them by breastfeeding. So good, breastfeed, save money for everybody. As if we really needed economists to tell us the best way to be parents. Somewhere in this article there is a number of the amount of money which could be saved. It's millions and millions and millions. At least 31 million according to this part of the article. Anyway, we don't have time to look through it, but I will post a link to it online. And there's also a Telegraph article, breastfeeding, when, where and how, 11 myths busted. So what's true and not true about breastfeeding? Let's take a little look. Let's jump through these as fast as possible. Not every woman can produce milk. That's not true. 99% of women can produce enough milk to breastfeed. You don't have to do it for 18 months. A new study suggests that 18 months is the optimum. You could do it for more if you wanted. Although the baby's developing teeth and it's kind of hard. Breastfeeding is very different to milk formula. The two milks are very different. Formula is essentially cow's milk and may contain around 30 beneficial ingredients, while breast milk has about 300. It also has all of the mother's nutritional data, DNA, genetic history, and disease resistance. You can't drink alcohol when you breastfeed. You can drink in moderation. Having a glass of wine with your dinner will not affect the baby. Some say they even sleep better. You can't breastfeed if you work. That's not true, because you can pump the milk from your breast and you can store it. in a fridge and give it to the baby later. start with short feeds and build your way up is a myth. No scientific value, it's nonsense. Feed your baby as long as it needs to be fed. On demand. Breast milk doesn't change, it does. It starts off being more thirst quenching, then you get more high fat milk that satisfies the baby. Good to know. You can't breastfeed if you've had implants or piercing is not true so long as a plastic surgeon has not cut a milk duct. Now, if you've already had your breasts manipulated and altered, you get what you deserve. Be happy with what you've got. I mean, if you feel the need to present yourself in such a way that you need to have implants, it's kind of saying that you don't have the brains to go out and get a guy, doesn't it? In a certain sense. Oh, but guys only look at, yeah, well, if that's the kind of guys that you're hanging around with, you will find what you're looking for. Nothing more, nothing less. Breastfeeding will make your breasts saggy. Not true. There is no difference between breasts that have breastfed and those that haven't. You can't breastfeed in public. Well, in Britain, every British woman is allowed to breastfeed in public. Thank you very much to government for reminding us that we can do what is absolutely perfectly normal, as if we need government to tell us what is absolutely right. Stay out of my life, please. There we go. You can study it in more detail by yourself. Links will be posted online. Well, thank you very much for your time and attention today. As usual, I would like to point you in the direction of our online media. You can find us on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, YouTube, and you can check out our homepage, www.nsa-slovakia.com. If you are interested in getting a little bit more information, we offer free Skype HD consultation sessions where, if you're a student and you don't know which exam to take, maybe IELTS, TOEFL, a Cambridge certificate, something else, then we can give you advice about which direction to go in. If you are a teacher and you'd like information about grammar or how to present grammar to your students, we can give you a little bit of advice, point you in the right direction there. Or if you're a business and you're looking for how you can increase the effectiveness of your use of language, maybe how you can make your presentations better, then we've got information that will help you there. So just send us an email if you are interested. This is about all we have time for today. If you find the article interesting, let us know. If you've got a subject you would like us to present, then let us know. It's been a pleasure presenting this information. Another video will be posted very soon. Take it easy and bye for now.